Arsenal Football Club open talks with Declan Rice and West Ham. Official talks have now begun, and a bid of £90 million is being prepared for the England midfielder as Mikel Arteta looks to bolster his squad. One, to go back and challenge again next year, but he wants to do it early. He wants to do it with top class players to take Arsenal to that next level, to go one further maybe next year and try to take the title away from Manchester City. Big salary being discussed as well. The player has spoken personally to Mikel Arteta in recent times. We know personal terms are not going to be a major issue. They've kind of been agreed in principle since around the end of January, early February, but this transfer's heating up, and it's not even the beginning of the window yet. Arsenal looking serious. Let's go. Arsenal had a very good summer in 2022. The preseason echoed this, and they've gone on to have a season which, of course, at the final hurdle they've fallen away, but they have surpassed everybody's preseason expectations. They have become title contenders, and they know they just need to improve this squad further, increase the intensity, and maybe, just maybe, they can go one better next year and win the Premier League, but certainly continue qualifying for the Champions League and fight harder on all fronts. Declan Rice has been a major target, the number one target since the end of the January 2023 window. Personal terms have been reported as agreed in principle by a number of outlets, both domestically and internationally, over the past few months. And we have gone into a lot of detail in relation to this. Now, before we go any further, make sure you download the One Football app now, scan the QR code on the screen, or click in the link in the description below. The best one-stop shop for all your news, transfer updates, and much, much more over the course of the summer. So go and get that done now. There are title sponsors. We want to keep working with them, but we need you to download that app. Now, in terms of this deal, what does it look like? We know that Mikel Arteta has personally spoken to Declan Rice. Declan Rice is a huge admirer of the work they're doing at Arsenal, the direction that they're going in. And I think this is why there's a lot of Arsenal fans who are not panicking about throwing the title away at the 11th hour, because the feel good factor around the club is there. They do not believe this club is going to regress and go backwards. But what they're asking for is money to be spent. And the Declan Rice deal represents that in every single which way imaginable. And the reason I say that is because £90 million is going to be the opening offer. Now, the structure of that £90 million is going to be key. How much of it do they pay up front? What do the installments look like? Is any of it add-ons? That a level of detail has not been disclosed to anybody as of now. That could take a week, a month, 2 months to resolve, depending on who else gets involved. However, 90 millions is the reported amount. Simon McBell, who is the journalist around this, has reported. I personally think they will offer something in the region of between 30 and 50% up front, and the rest will be paid over a 3 to 4 year period. But the most significant element here is the amount of money that they're offering to pay him. The report from the Daily Mail states that Declan Rice will exceed £300,000 a week. I'll read the actual quote. It said the Gunners would be willing to offer the midfielder a contract that would see his potential earnings exceed £300,000 a week. Now, what you'll find is you're probably looking at a 200 to 250 base with bonuses that would take it over £300,000 per week. But I think this is the right move from Arsenal. One, I rate Declan Rice highly. In my opinion, becomes the best midfielder at Arsenal when he walks through the door. I think he is better than Xhaka, and I think he is better than Thomas Partey. He's a different kind of player to that of Jorginho. I don't think he's as good in terms of his deep line playmaking and the sort of the register role as Jorginho, but as an overall midfielder, especially when it comes to going forward, he's superior as well. He becomes Arsenal's best midfielder. In fact, there's an argument to say he goes in and maybe with his leadership qualities becomes the best overall football player. Not the best technician, not the best dribbler, not the best with skills, but that isn't what professional football is all about. Declan Rice is a superstar in the making, in my opinions. And as a Man United fan, I am jealous like you would not believe that Arsenal look like they're winning this race. Now, I hope there's a sting in the towel and Man United get involved and we take him away. But I just don't know if that's possible. Arsenal look as though they're going to get this over the line. But the significance here is Arsenal look like they're going to go big. Now, they've got to add more than Declan Rice. They need more firepower up front. They need to add to the back line. It can't be Declan Rice and then a couple of average players to bolster out the squad. It has to be Rice and then two more players like him. They may not all cost 90 million, but they need more 50, 60, 70 million pound players. Two or three of them have got to come in this summer, and you bolster the squad from the top down. You improve the starting 11, and therefore you improve your overall squad. But it's significant because Arsenal are looking to spend huge money, and Arsenal have always, their fans have celebrated not being the biggest spenders. But as a rival, I've always found it great that Arsenal were never willing to break the bank to keep players, that Arsenal wouldn't break the bank enough to sign stars because they were one less team to worry about. Arsenal going big for players is a concern. It makes them more dangerous. It makes them a scarier proposition. And right now in the Premier League, only City are better than them. So everybody else can kind of laugh at Arsenal and say, I'm not worried about them. I'm not shook by them. They're better than you right now. Unless you're City, they're better than you right now. And if they add Declan Rice's and more players like him, they are going to be another scary outfit, difficult to beat for everybody else going into next year. Man City will still be the Premier League favourites. And if somebody asked me today on the 16th of May to do my predictions for next year, I'm going to predict City winning the league again. I can't look beyond them right now. They're just emphatic. But I don't believe this Arsenal team will fall away if they pull off signings like this. It will be a tremendous piece of business. Now, for full disclosure, in terms of what other stories around the place are talking about at the minute, there is talk about Man City now showing a real interest in Declan Rice as well. We know Man United have an interest in him, and Chelsea are also circling him. So this deal isn't done as of now, but it is advancing. Personal terms have all but agreed in principle. The player is now just waiting for a deal to be struck with West Ham. West Ham United will want to try and drag this out. West Ham United will want to try and make this difficult. They will want to try and get as close to the 120 million pound asking price they've set as possible. The quicker Arsenal can get it done, the better, the cheaper it will be. And it appears, as we're not even at the end of the season yet, that is what Arsenal are trying to do. They don't want Man City, that right now are focusing on winning a treble. Man United are focusing on top four and trying to win the FA Cup. This is the perfect time for Arsenal to strike, while two of their major competitors for Declan Rice are busy focusing on the league, Champions League, FA Cups, etc. Their season is essentially over now, Arsenal. Some dead rubbers, guaranteed second place, guaranteed Champions League football, but it's all about the planning for next year. So let's see how this transpires in the coming days and weeks. But I want to get your views. I want to understand how you feel about this. I want your opinions. That is the most important part of the football terrace. Of course, keep your comments respectful. That is what we ask and demand of you. Download the One Football app before you go. But until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll be seeing you all again very, very soon. Bye-bye.